Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Well, ever since Canelo Alvarez tested positive for this banned PED substance, clenbuterol, and got suspended by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, everyone has something to say about the situation, obviously, right? And this suspension has created a snowball effect because now HBO is taking a hit. They had to suspend programming promotion for the fight until further notice. Further notice would be April 10th. That's when the Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to decide. So as you can imagine, everyone has something to say. Juan Marquez, he actually spoke on the situation. Now, what's so interesting about this story is Marquez, he's been extremely critical of Canelo Alvarez for years. In fact, he criticized Canelo so much to the point to where Canelo actually challenged Marquez to an actual boxing match. He actually challenged Marquez to a boxing match because he was so bothered of the criticism by Juan Marquez. With that being said, this is what Marquez had to say about this situation when it comes to, once again, Canelo failing this drug test and what Golovkin had to say. Because just in case you guys don't know what Golovkin said, when Golovkin found out that Canelo failed this test, Golovkin, he wasn't buying the meat contamination excuse. He said that Canelo Alvarez is cheating. He blamed it on Canelo and his team. He said they're far too experienced to fall for some contaminated meat. Now, coincidentally, fighters from Mexico such as Eric Morales and Francisco Vargas, they too tested positive for this drug. There's also been some American athletes in other sports that have tested positive for this drug. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into what Marquez had to say about the situation. So Marquez, he did this interview on the Spanish network, and this is what he had to say, once again, in response to everything that has transpired. Quote, "Look, in this situation, Gennady Golovkin needs to shut the hell up and let the Nevada State Athletic Commission do its job. The NSAC has been doing its job on the case, and yes, we see Canelo has been suspended." End quote. Now, this is an interesting stance from Juan Marquez, and I'll tell you guys why. For many reasons, actually. For one, I already told you guys that he was extremely critical of Canelo to the point to where Canelo took it so personal. Canelo challenged Juan Marquez to a catchweight fight, number one. On top of that, Marquez is the same fighter that was extremely critical of Manny Pacquiao. Because Marquez, he implied that Manny Pacquiao was doping. And understand this, when he was implying that Manny Pacquiao was doping, there was no negative test that had surfaced when it comes to Manny Pacquiao. So now when it comes to Canelo, there's two failed tests, and he's telling the opponent, which is Golovkin, that he needs to shut the hell up. I mean, in essence, it's kind of like telling the rape victim to shut the hell up, right? What I don't understand here is, how does Marquez and other fans, how did they expect Gennady Golovkin to respond? Okay, you expected him to remain silent. You expected him not to say anything about the fact that his opponent failed not one, but two drug tests for a banned substance that gives you an advantage in training. Once again, I go back to Manny Pacquiao. Do you guys think if Manny Pacquiao would have failed two PED tests before the fight, months before the fight, he fails two drug tests for PEDs in his system, do you think Marquez is going to shut the hell up? Absolutely not. Because once again, even when Manny Pacquiao didn't fail a test, Marquez still implied that Manny Pacquiao was on something. Okay? So that's pretty much what it is. Once again, we'll find out what happens with Canelo. Canelo versus Golovkin, the rematch. We'll find out after April 10th if we're even going to have a fight. There's some people that believe that there's a very good chance they're going to cancel this fight. All I know is this is lose-lose for Canelo Alvarez. Once again, fans have to realize it does not matter if Canelo Alvarez did it intentionally or unintentionally. It doesn't matter if a guy put a gun to his head and forced him to take clenbuterol or eat contaminated meat. None of that would matter. The only thing that matters is he failed a test that gives him an advantage in training in this fight. That's the only thing that Gennady Golovkin is looking at. So that's pretty much all I got for now.